Hey guys, Common Man. So what we're doing here in this video is we're diving in a little bit deeper into a topic that I brought up in a recent video. In fact, it was the latest video that has been posted. It was the introduction to a whole new kind of video, which is this time capsule style video. It had to do with a 1-year review on this channel, both what's going on with the channel, but also what's going on with Tesla in real life. And anyway, we covered a lot of ground in that, and it was really just meant to be an introduction. And then my intention was to go diving in just a bit deeper into numerous topics that were brought up in that video. So today's topic is the Cybertruck. So I have a sub channel called My Cybertruck. I don't actually have a Cybertruck. I wish I did. No, I don't really wish I did. Obviously, the Cybertruck is an amazing vehicle, and it would be very exciting to have one. But in the end, I decided not to get one. So if you watch the entire sub-channel or playlist called My Cybertruck, you can hear the saga beginning to end. And it was done sort of in real life, in real time, so to speak. And the whole thing started with me having one of my orders filled. And when I say filled, I don't mean like I actually got the Cybertruck. What I mean is I had not just one order, but 63 orders for Cybertrucks. I had sort of multiples of every single type of Cybertruck that you could order. And there were a number of different types, not all that many, but there were 3 different sort of types. But then for each type, you could get FSD or not get FSD. So, 3 times 2, that's 6 different kinds. Maybe I'm forgetting why there might be more than that. But anyway, there was at least 6 different variations, so to speak. And they ranged from $39,000 for a rear wheel drive, all the way up to, I believe it was $69,000 was the most expensive. Might have been 59, but actually I think it was 69. Anyway, I had multiples of all of them. And why I did that, I'll just touch on that a bit. But it was a very unique vehicle that there was sort of a community of people on YouTube, which I was not actively, I didn't have a YouTube channel. So I wasn't, I didn't have a, so to speak, platform to speak my thoughts on the Cybertruck, but I was watching a lot of other people's content and thought it was a very interesting sort of sub-community within the Tesla community. So anyway, I had business reasons and investment reasons for ordering all these Cybertrucks. For one thing, sort of the most obvious, quick, easy reason to order all these Cybertrucks is that when they came out, in theory, I could actually buy a $39,000 Cybertruck, and that I could then potentially, depending on a variety of variables, I could then turn around and sell it for $50,000 or whatever the price might be, or more. But anyway, that didn't play out. That did not play out, and neither did a variety of other things that these guys could have been robot cabs as soon as they came out. That's what it looked like. That's what Tesla was kind of saying, was that when the Cybertruck came out, it would be full self-driving and it could be part of the robo fleet, and that you could make money off of your Cybertruck. And if you had multiple Cybertrucks, you could have a fleet of robo taxis that could make you a lot of money. So that was interesting to me for a bunch of reasons. The money part is one of them for sure. But anyway, the flipping part in the end didn't really work out, and neither did the robotaxi part, because here we are, and the Cybertruck has been out for quite a while now, a little bit more than a year. But anyway, it's you can't put, if you had a Cybertruck right now, you could not put it into the robotaxi fleet, because it probably won't be until 2026 that people who own Teslas will be able to put their Tesla into a robotaxi fleet. So anyway, I was able to put for $100 down for each Cybertruck. I was able to reserve 63, and in the end, I chose to cancel all those orders. Ultimately, I did it sort of in stages, but ultimately I canceled all those orders and got all my money back. So that was how that played out. But part of the whole saga, by the way, is that when a year ago, when I was offered a Cybertruck by Tesla, I had never seen a Cybertruck. Most people had never seen a Cybertruck. They were already being released. Most of them that did exist in the wild were in California or around Austin in Texas, that kind of thing. So I couldn't test drive the vehicle. So it was a very hard decision, the other part that's very worth mentioning is that instead of it costing $39,000, when it came out, it was priced at $120,000 plus, you'd have to pay taxes and licensing and all sorts of things. When it's all said and done, it would have been at least $130,000 for this vehicle. And I've never spent that much for a vehicle. In fact, the most I've ever spent for a vehicle was something like $30,000 back in 2008, which was the last time I bought which was the first and last time I bought a new vehicle. So I just was not prepared to spend $130,000 on a vehicle, especially that wasn't able to even do FSD, much less be in the robotaxi fleet. By the way, I'm not saying anything negative about Tesla or about the Cybertruck. It's an amazing product, and I feel that Tesla is an amazing company, and I'm heavily invested in Tesla. So nothing has changed, but in the end, I was a year ago faced with a very difficult decision. Should I get this Cybertruck or not? And ultimately, I decided not to. By the way, one of the many reasons that I chose not to is that it would not have fit in my garage, and I would be nervous about having a $30,000 vehicle outside, just in the elements, and available to be vandalized or accidentally run into, or whatever. So that was part of it. Quality was a part of it. And I'm not saying the initial Cybertrucks weren't a quality product, but come on, we all know that anytime a new product comes out by Tesla or anyone, it's going to have some quality issues, and that quality will likely improve over time. So the garage thing, the quality thing, the robo fleet thing. So what am I going to do instead of getting a Cybertruck, which I clearly by this point have chosen not to get a Cybertruck, which does not mean I won't someday get a Cybertruck. I just don't see it as my next vehicle, likely. I don't likely see it as my next vehicle. But the prices are coming down, and it might be my next vehicle. But I think more likely a Model Y, maybe a Model 3, maybe a Robo Cab with no steering wheel. Now, at this moment in time, Tesla has not made it clear whether individuals will be able to buy a Robo Cab or not. They're going to produce them, and I believe the initial thing that they're going to be used for is for Tesla to have those vehicles in a Tesla-owned fleet, which will be first happening in Austin, Texas. And then in 2026, at the soonest, because sometimes when they think things are going to happen, it actually takes a little bit longer. But anyway, Tesla would let the millions of Tesla owners, if they so chose, put their vehicles into the robo taxi fleet, because they're all capable of being robots, and it would operate a lot like a Airbnb is a common comparison that I think that literally Elon has used that comparison. Certainly other people have. But the idea is that if you owned a Tesla, that you could keep it for your own use, but you could also offer it up to be in the robo-taxi fleet at certain times when you are not using it. So much like if you were going to, let's say the Super Bowl was going to happen in your town, you might purposely leave town and offer up your house on Airbnb and make a bunch of money. And then when you come back into town, take back your, possession of your house. So that is something that I'm really interested in doing. I just don't know that it will happen with a Cybertruck. It might happen with a Model Y that I buy in 2026 or even later. By the way, I don't know that I'm going to be jumping on this bandwagon the second they let Tesla owners do it. I might jump on that bandwagon 6 months later, a year later, who knows, because there could be some kinks that need to be worked out or whatever the case may be. But I will be watching very carefully as this whole robo-taxi project rolls out, or whatever you want to call it. So later on this year, in fact, they're now saying in June, when I made the last video, they hadn't had their earnings call yet. So this had never been said, but now that the earnings call happened, a couple days after I put out that video, Tesla, well, it's actually Elon that's saying this, that June, they will have a robo-taxi fleet operating in Austin, Texas. So that is very interesting and very exciting. Just kind of reading my notes to see if I forgot anything. And by the way, also just to mention this, I should never have been picked to get a Cybertruck in January of 2024, which is when I was picked to get a Cybertruck. I had 63 orders, sure, but there was a queue. I was in line, and I put in my orders after 1 million people were in line. So there were not 1 million Cybertrucks out on the road delivered to customers when I got picked. So that's just another interesting thing about this whole saga. Why was I picked so soon? It doesn't make sense, at least from how you would expect a queue to work. So that's interesting and worth mentioning. So I got that. Now I have no orders. I pretty much said that. And also, this is kind of interesting. In spite of the fact that Cybertruck has been out in the wild for now a year, slightly more than a year, a few weeks more than a year, whatever it might be. I think they delivered the first ones in a big event in November. So anyway, but basically, long and short of it is they've been out for a year and they're still pretty rare to see. I mean, I go out driving, every day or whatever, and I only see one once a week, maybe, something like that. And so that's interesting. But by the way, in spite of that, they are the number one truck in the United States that is pure electric. So they have, there were multiple trucks that came out before the Cybertruck, including and most especially the F-150 Lightning. And there was a fair number of those sold. But anyway, Tesla has exceeded Ford in that area, and everyone else. Rivian is another one. Yeah, so I see a lot of Rivians out there more than Cybertrucks. So the Rivians are out there, the Fords are out there, but Cybertruck is the number one seller right now, which doesn't mean there's more Cybertrucks out there. It's just the run rate of trucks that are being produced right now is in excess of what Rivian produces right now and in excess of what Ford puts out right now, etc. So that's pretty much that. Oh, I guess one more thing to mention, which is an important part of this Cybertruck story. When I was talking earlier about the $130,000 that I would have to put in to own one, the stock was lower then, and I just felt like the best thing that I could do for my family and for my children, etc., was to keep that money in Tesla stock, not to put it into a Cybertruck. So I guess I will wrap with that concept. So there you go. That is a quick wrap up on the Cybertruck saga. And if you want any more detail, there's quite a number of long form videos out there that I have produced, and you can check that out. Ciao.